Supportive relationships. Welcome to our second Resilience Art Workshop, where we'll be focusing on building block number 2. For this workshop, we'll be focusing on supportive relationships, having at least one person that can help you. We will be designing a support system tree inspired by the traditional family tree. Let's take a look at some examples. This family tree is from Swabia before it became modern Germany, and it dates back to the medieval era around the time of the 12th century. Notice the coat of arms. We made our heraldry symbols a few weeks back. American painter Norman Rockwell painted family tree in 1959. What do you notice in this painting about the composition and the cast of characters? Are they fictional? This modern family tree is illustrated by Mavi Williams and is a very contemporary approach to a family tree. What do you notice about this one? What do you like about it? Now that we've seen a few different styles of family trees, we have some ideas and a starting point to give us some inspiration on how to begin. Here's an example of a support system tree that I did in ink. In creating our own version of the supportive relationship tree, we're going to gather photos or draw pictures or perhaps just write the names of important people in our lives that are part of our support system. Here are the supplies you'll need for this project. Photos or photo references of supportive people. They can be actual photographs or they can be images on your phone, a photo reference of a tree to draw from, pencil, color pencils, pre-cut shapes for collage, glue stick, cardstock, and any other supplies that you might want to use that you have on hand at home. They could be watercolors, scissors. I pulled up a tree from Wikipedia. This one is of a giant redwood or sequoia tree, and I'm using it as a reference, taking a look at the texture of the bark, the texture of the leaves, and I'll be using it as a reference for my drawing. And you can do the same. You can go ahead and search for an image for inspiration. In your packet of supplies, you'll find some cardstock. You'll find some blank ones, and then you'll also find one or two that has a tree already drawn for you, just to speed up the process and to make it easier. Feel free to use it or not. It's totally up to you. And then you'll find a little Ziploc bag full of punched out papers for collage. Go ahead and take a look at it. Here's a technique on how to draw the texture of bark. Notice how I'm holding my pencil. I'm using all of my fingers and my thumb, and I'm holding the pencil quite parallel to the paper so that I have the flat part of the lead against the paper so that I can make wide strokes. Feel free to be expressive with your pencil line. It can be sketchy. You can be very loose with your lines. It doesn't have to be exact. We're just capturing the textures that we see on a tree. And you can use different colors. Don't feel like you have to stick to realistic colors. Just have fun with it. If you have a pair of scissors handy, you can take a piece of cardstock and cut it into smaller shapes. Otherwise, you can fold the paper back and forth and tear it like I'm doing in the video. And that way you can have smaller pieces to work with. And I'll be using these smaller squares to draw small portraits, and they could be layered on top of the collage material. Using your photo reference, you can draw small portraits, taking notice of details and shapes to help you with drawing your portraits with familiar attributes of the person that you're trying to convey. In your supply bag, you'll also find a package of glitter gel pens. They're super fun to work with. You could use them to outline and to emphasize details. You can add texture, add a little bit of sparkle, and you can also use them to write the names of the people in your supportive group. If you decided not to use photographs or not to draw portraits, you might instead write the names of people on the collage paper, and that is perfectly fine. There's many ways to approach this project. And then the last step will be to glue all the collage paper and portraits on your tree and to add any other details.